Hello, everyone, and welcome to our Vampire the Masquerade 5th edition Thin Blood Chronicle, Are We Dead Yet? This is Epilogue 2, Shadows of Blood. Let's meet our bloody vampires, starting with Az.
Hi, I'm Az. I'm going to be playing Sawyer Jameson, who's having a great time right now.
Great time at the beach. Kitsu?
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Kitsu. I'm going to be playing Astrid, the Tremere, and she's ready to see what these guys are up to.
Mm-hmm. And Luna.
Hi, I'm Luna. I'll be playing Theo Winters, the queen of the resting bitch face.
Excellent. As always, this is a Vampire the Masquerade 5th edition actual play. We've gone over our safety and consent, but check in with yourselves because your safety and well-being is important to all of us playing. So where are we in our story? Well, this newly embraced Thin Blood coterie witnessed the death of one of their former romantic partners at the hands of one of their own friends. They've met a werewolf. They've met a vampire pirate. And they've met another vampire who preaches freedom for all. Theo and Sawyer, leaving Club Karma at the beach behind, leaving Ruby behind with the Baron. Ramon, you don't know which direction he went in. And Tex, you have no idea where they are. You two have decided to take the long, let's call it, scenic route back to the vacant hotel Caden put you in last night. After all, Morgan's body is still there, rotting with every moment that passes. You both see the bright neon sign ahead for the Gay Dolphin. You see several young people leaning on each other as they laugh and yell, clearly several cups into their night out. You are surrounded by the smells of living bodies. And I need both of you to make a rouse check, please.
Success.
Mm-hmm.
Just don't. God damn it.
Well,
Is that a failure?
I rolled a 1. Yeah.
What hunger does that put you at, Sawyer?
Well, that would put me at
That should only put you at 2 hunger, I believe.
2 because I ate Morgan.
You fed on Morgan, you
oh
did.
yeah.
So, Sawyer,
Yeah.
you hear this very small voice in the back of your head. It sounds just like Morgan. My God, you're pathetic. Why are you just wandering around aimlessly when you could go have a drink, go have some fun? You could never, ever do anything right.
What? And
Are you
Sawyer's gonna
okay?
kind of clench Theo's hand a little bit harder and start eyeing the people that are walking by.
Mm-hmm.
Huh?
Do you need something?
What? I just sorry. I think I'm hungry again.
Right. Well, me too. Let's just get back to the motel and regroup.
Yeah, I think that's good. I feel a little worse, which I think is good. Back at the beach, it just kind of went away, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, well, figure it out. One step at a time. Let's just get back, get our stuff, and figure out where to go.
Get our stuff and get ready to go. Yeah. Okay.
Theo's gonna take more of a kind of one step ahead leadership, holding Sawyer close and making sure we have our bubble.
Mm-hmm. You have about a 5-minute walk. It's a very short walk, and especially if you, but you can take your time a little bit with the walk if you have anything that you'd like to discuss on your way back to the hotel. I'm sure neither of you are in a hurry to see Morgan's corpse.
Oh, yeah.
No. Yeah, as what happened at the beach, it is in fact gone. Sawyer's starting the process that Morgan's gone. Whoever that woman is that they've been working for, it is part of this somehow.
Yeah, I kind
Like
of
the-
ascertained that.
Yeah, the welling up of tears starts to happen. Actual tears.
And when we stop at like an intersection, like a crosswalk,
Mhm.
I'll kind of spin Sawyer to face me, like, "Hey, it's
Mhm.
okay. We're gonna figure it out.
It's not okay, Theo. It's
Not okay. I know that. I'm really trying to keep it together."
I'm sorry I lied to you all. I did. Maybe if I told you all, then she wouldn't. And then Esther and
Well, something tells me that she would have come anyway. And I understand why you didn't tell us, and I'm not bothered by it. I'm just focused on getting us someplace safe and helping you get through this.
thank you, Theo.
Don't thank me yet.
We'll figure it out, and we'll figure out what what to do with her.
Yeah, we can. I'm sure we could figure out something respectful. Probably.
Yeah.
As you both walk to make your way, you can, in the distance, see Pirate's Voyage behind the hotel, but of course the hotel comes sooner.
Mhm.
Both of you see a very sleek, nondescript, black automobile, 4-door, sitting in the parking lot. It's not parked, it's merely in front of the motel. And we're going to move our scene inside the car as you two approach. Astrid, right now, you are sitting in the passenger side seat with one of the Thin Bloods that you knew. You met him originally when that night that you were at Club Karma before it exploded. He was the first Thin Blood that you rescued from the cage in Baron Canante's blood room. And since then, he's worked with Hunter and has helped rehabilitate some other Thin Bloods who were under the sway of Baron Canante. And he's sitting holding onto the steering wheel. He says, yeah, so Hunter, we think that the Baron might still be alive, or that's what he said. And he said that he met some Thin Bloods and that he thought maybe you could do your blood thing to, like, help them or something. I know it's all weird and vague. I don't really know what's going on either.
You mean to ask to find them?
I don't know. So all Hunter told me was to call you and tell you for me to pick you up and bring you to this hotel where a bunch of newly embraced Thin Bloods are. And he thinks the Baron embraced them.
Oh, okay.
Which means the Baron's recruiting, which means the Baron did not die in the sun, which means the Sabbat are still a problem here.
I see.
I mean, I really don't even know what you can do. The way Hunter talks about vampire stuff, he talks about it like it's all, just wibbly wobbly magic stuff, but he says you can do stuff with people's blood and know stuff.
Well, let's start by going to meet them, and then we can figure that out.
All right. So he gets out of the car and opens the door for you. And at this moment,
thank you. You don't have to do that. Thank you.
My mama raised me right. What can I say?
That's very sweet.
And Theo and Sawyer, you are approaching this car. You see a man walk out of it. He doesn't notice you right away. And he walks over to the passenger side, and out comes a very demure young woman. Astrid, would you like to explain how you are dressed and sort of what aura you put out, what vibe you put out as you exit the car?
She is not very tall. She's somewhere between, she's just, pushed past 5 feet. Somewhere there. 5'3", sort of. You're not sure. It doesn't look like she's wearing heels, or it doesn't look like she's wearing anything particularly sleek, but she is mainly wearing black. And she looks like she's walked... She looks like she could be in high school, honestly. Like she's walked from a goth club or something. She has this she's like, she could pass for punk because she's got a couple of piercings, glasses that kind of don't really fit the vibe entirely. Like, you get the feeling that she doesn't really thrive on posing, or making herself imposing, I suppose is more the term. She's got this intricate necklace with a black gem that kind of feels a little out of place, but she's trying to match it with other pieces of jewelry. And she looks very... like she doesn't walk with this super confident stride. She just kind of lingers with this man and seems to be saying something small, like about, you don't hear what she's saying, but she doesn't feel like a very impressive, oh my gosh kind of presence, very subtle. Could probably blend in a crowd if you didn't look for piercings, perhaps.
Blend in with a punk crowd, certainly. So we're thinking Stevie Nicks, if Stevie Nicks was a little bit more grunge. And I need both Theo and Sawyer to do either a wits and insight or wits and awareness, whichever is higher for you.
Okay.
We're gonna do some wits and insight.
They're both the same, so I'll do awareness. Oh, wait.
I just looked at it. Maths are hard. Okay, there we go.
And then... okay, got it. Yeah. 2.
Mm-hmm.
3.
Both of you can tell immediately that unlike the man standing near her, and unlike you, Sawyer, Astrid is not breathing. You can tell that there is no movement underneath the black clothes that look like she is breathing. She doesn't blink very often. And you can also tell that she is extremely muscular for someone of her height, as if perhaps in life she was an athlete of some kind.
As we're approaching, and I assume they don't see us right away, I'll stop and look at Sawyer and then kind of look around for something to maybe duck behind, and then be like, should we just go inside? Like, just walk past?
Yeah, Sawyer's gonna kind of step between Theo and the car and be like, himself up a bit. He said he was gonna give us a night. Do you think maybe he lied? Or
I don't trust that man as far as I can throw him, and I can't throw anything very far, so who knows?
Astrid with some wits and awareness, and I'll roll for Tom. Wits and awareness,
I'm sorry?
Astrid.
I didn't hear that.
Wits and awareness, Astrid.
Okay.
And I will roll for Tom. Both of you, Theo and Sawyer, may make a what would be a good hide roll?
Dex and stealth?
Let's say Dex and stealth, or stamina and stealth, whichever is higher for you.
2.
Oh. 1, 2, 3,
Yeah,
4.
Yeah, super
1.
sneaky with...
Okay, 1 success for me.
No successes?
Oh, 1 success for me.
1 success, okay. So, here's what happens.
I lied. Hold on. Dice rolled. Yeah, 1 success. Apologies. It's very dark.
It's okay.
Okay. Astrid, if you would like, you may use Eyes of Oblivion. And that would... How many dots in Oblivion do you have? 2, right?
I believe so, yeah.
Roll me 2 d10. Then there.
We're the stealthiest.
Very. Very trained.
Anything
in
above a
the art
6 is a
form.
success.
Also 1 success extra.
Okay, so that's 2 successes. So, Theo and Sawyer, both of you don't really see anywhere to go. So you just duck behind the nearest bush. And it's not quite large enough to cover you completely, so you're practically flat on the ground. And it's not a very thick bush, so you can be seen through it if someone is intently looking. Tom notices right away that someone has arrived and tried to hide. And Astrid, you turn your eyes completely black, and then suddenly the area is illuminated, and you can see these 2 figures behind these bushes.
Are we
Do you think-
expecting... I look at
At Tom?
I look at Tom, I go like, are we expecting ambush?
If they are going to ambush us, I don't think they're going to be very good at it.
I think if we just wait it out, we can go in, grab our stuff, and then maybe we can make it back to Hunter's place.
Yeah, I think that's all we got right now.
That's all we got
So,
right now.
as both of you look up, Tom has walked over to behind the bushes, and he goes, hi.
Hello?
Evening.
What you doing down there?
Well, didn't expect anybody to come to this vacant hotel, so, just making sure everything's good.
It's owned by Hunter.
So you know Hunter.
I know Hunter.
So did Hunter send you?
He sure did. And he sent his paramour to meet with you.
Oh,
So God damn it. Sawyer stands up, is like, yeah, no, come on, Theo. It's remember because we accidentally ruined date night. We should probably apologize to her for that.
I mean, that wasn't our fault, but sure, yeah.
It wasn't our fault, but he had the whole setup. Like, I understand going through that and it not being appreciated. Anyway,
She walks over.
Apparently they ruined a date night Hunter had planned. I didn't know anything about it.
Why don't we go inside?
Sounds like a good idea.
Have a chat inside rather. I don't.
yeah,
it'll be
we're-
comfier.
When
we're
Astrid
staying with
when
someone
Astrid
up there.
speaks, you can tell that she's speaking with a European accent. Do either of you have dots in academics?
Yes.
Yeah,
Intelligence academics.
finally. This is high school.
My bread and butter. Okay. Just the 2 nerds.
Beautiful. That is 5 successes.
Mhm.
Finally.
Wait. 4 successes.
All right. So not only can you tell that her accent is German, you can specifically tell that it's not just German, it is Bavarian.
No.
It's a heavy accent, meaning likely she didn't grow up speaking English.
Which I cannot do as a person, but Astrid can.
But Astrid speaks fluent German, which has come in handy, surprisingly, in this story.
Hell yeah.
So Tom heads up the stairs. He already has keys, and he jaunts up the stairs. He already knows which one you are staying in, so clearly they are not lying, that they have come here on the request of Hunter. And Morgan is not in the room, just so you know. Ramon placed her in another one of the hotel rooms. Neither of you are sure which one. And he opens up the door. Is this all of you? Hunter said there were 5 of you.
That's a... That'll be part of the chat.
Well, we lost one of our friends. I think they took off after everything.
Who could blame him? And the other two, well, decided to stay down at Club Karma for tonight.
Yeah, at least Ruby did. And then Ramon, I didn't see where he went.
Tom shoots you a look, Astrid, when they say Club Karma.
I acknowledge the look. I look at him.
Well, allow me to make introductions. My name is Tom. I'm a Duskborn. This is Astrid Huber. They are as I said, the paramour of Hunter Perot, Clan Tremere. And they are the child of Prince Dean Preston of the Camarilla.
Camarilla. Cammy, the
Yep.
like and turned a like Hunter was telling us about the
Yeah.
different
Sex.
yeah
Factions.
Prince. I haven't heard that one before yet. I did hear Baron.
And that's as far as it's about, really.
Yeah, that's pretty much as far as.
Yeah, I wouldn't let Hunter be the person to talk about politics.
I got that impression.
He was really trying his best. He was super accommodating with us. And he made sure
he
that
told
we at
me
least
that
were
you.
fed and
He told me that he had to give you some of his blood, so just pipe down a little bit.
oh,
It'll fade, I promise.
he was telling that. Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
You needed it. It's fine.
Yeah.
Well,
I got really hungry.
yeah.
Anyway,
Well, I'm Theodora. Lovely to meet you, both of you.
Lovely to
yeah,
meet you as well.
Sawyer.
And as far as we know, we're both Duskborn, but that's really all we know about any of this.
And
Yeah, and then Frankie used another word, but I don't remember what that
Whoa,
was.
Frankie?
Yeah.
I think he forgot to mention Frankie.
oh,
Frankie's a bad guy.
right. How are you related to Frankie, if I may ask?
I'm
Let's start there for a moment.
Well, Frankie told us to get ice at the Piggly Wiggly, and we all ended up in the freezer.
Well, there's
vampires.
a little bit more to it. We went to Club Karma, and then basically, from my understanding, got attacked, and Frankie said he saved us.
I'm confused. Club Karma is gone.
It's on the beach right now. We just left.
It's like
from
a
it.
little pop-up kind of situation on the beach, right on the
Yeah.
sand.
Fuck.
Yeah, right now, Frankie and Baron. How'd you say his last? Kananti.
Cannot.
Yeah, Kananti are sitting there talking to, I think, Ruby. Well, she might have left by now, but
So Tom looks at you and says, well, I guess that confirms it.
And this Baron, what do you make of him? I suppose. How do you know him? What how can you connect it to him? I suppose this is a lot of people that you know.
well, what happened was kind of weird. Like, we showed up to meet Frankie because he was pissed off that we took off without getting him the ice. So we got picked up by someone, and they took us to meet the Baron. And like, we showed up, and we were all super like, let's fight this guy, and then it all kind of went away.
Basically, what I got was Frankie is close to Kananti. I'm going to assume a second or something, and tried to pitch us some kind of revolutionary group of kindred, and I could not bring myself to trust any of it.
Why that? Why? You notice that she's letting you talk. She's not really interrupting you or anything. She's just like nodding.
Well, I kind of understood it. It sounded good. But then he started talking about how Hunter's the one who blew up Club Karma and that Hunter's like a bad dude. And Hunter's not a bad dude. Like, he's the one that helped us out.
Mm-hmm.
So if someone's all that bad, why would they help out someone they've never met who kind of just turned up, got thrown out in front of your place? Like, you didn't have to do all that.
Yeah, that much I agree with about
And
Hunter.
then Sawyer looks pretty sheepish. It's like, and then when they were offering to teach us, Theo stopped me.
Oh, yeah, Frankie offered his blood to us, and I wasn't going to take it, and I guess I didn't want you to do it either, Sawyer.
What was he trying to teach you?
Magic.
What do you call it? Alchemy.
Alchemy, yes, alchemy.
Yeah, alchemy. He offered that, and he also pulled out this cup and said that we could. I don't remember how he phrased it.
He said that you could all put your blood in it and drink it, right?
Yeah.
Yes,
Put the blood in it, and
precisely.
there was a word he used, the phrase. Basically, we'd be free.
Tom turns
And
to
no
you.
one would be able to do
Astrid.
all this to us again.
That's what Kananti tried to do to us when we were down in the cage. He called it the Valdery.
Interesting.
Yeah!
Cage?
Yeah, I'm also curious about that, but I didn't want to push.
Well, if Ruby and maybe Ramon are gonna be hanging around him, why were you in a cage? He said you were also a Duskborn. Is this something that he does?
So the Duskborn should be free, and that, like the Anarchs kind of put up with us, and that the Camarilla, brands us.
That's true. But, Kananti's wants to radicalize you.
Yeah, I
Do
figured that.
you? Oh, let me ask you a question then.
Mm.
Do you feel like, since I am essentially the prince's child, the prince is how should I put it? It's, I suppose, to put it in layman's term, he would be the local leader of the Camarilla. Let's say it that way. And I'm his direct child. So far, do you feel like I'm judging you? Like I'm doing anything to threaten you?
No, we've been.
No.
This is the probably the most at ease I've felt in the last several hours, actually.
2 days.
Yeah.
Hunter told me that you've only been unalive for a couple of days.
Oh,
Mhm.
Yeah, we got killed at a Piggly Wiggly.
Good way to go.
that's a lot to process in just 2 days. And, okay, how to put this? I've not been in the state that I'm at for a very long time myself. However, I feel like I should try to tell you a couple of things. I know we're not technically of the same caste, if you want to say it that way, but certain things are difficult no matter what.
Mhm.
And so if you let me just try to tell you a couple of things I could try. Let's leave this barren business aside for a moment.
Sure.
you've got, or Frankie or anyone, what happened to you is very traumatic. And I'm not going to be like, I'm not some sort of therapist or anything, but what is important right now is that you find a place where you can sort of process it and try to get into a clear place of mind to keep seeing what your situation is and what you can do about it. And I hope this is what the place is. As for Camarilla and Sabat and all of these wars that are at the moment bigger than you, bigger than me, it's not a new thing at its core. Let's put it that way. And however, what is sometimes new about these things is that some of us find our own way to work with the confinements that we have put upon us. And sometimes those confinements rely on having favors of someone else. So if someone ever, for some reason, asks you for a boon, for a favor, be very careful. When people help you when people of my kind help yours, be careful not to stay indebted to them. Because that can be very detrimental, very binding, very difficult to work around. I don't think Hunter is the type of person that would ever do this, so you can rest assured.
Did Hunter ask you
Yeah,
for a favor or a boon when he took care of you and gave you this place to stay?
No. Just gave it to us. And
And
fed
said
us.
that we were going to talk to, Caden actually said that, he was going to figure out someone for us to talk to,
Yeah.
which I think is you.
Yeah, it was sort of a what do you call it? A telephone. It was sort of from Hunter to Caden to me, and now me trying to catch Astrid up to speed.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, we appreciate it. I mean, any bit of information is gold at this point.
It's to my
Really
understanding that what Hunter wanted was for Astrid to come here and do whatever it is that Tremere do to try and determine who exactly made you and any information that we can find out about your particular situation. Because we're all different, us Dustborn.
Mm-hmm.
Like, for example, I can eat food and I can go to the doctor and they can't really tell that I'm dead. But
Hunter was telling me that it's super rare, but like the heartbeat and the I cry.
The old ticker works, and I can turn on the waterworks if I have to. But he thought it might be easier if Astrid could help you figure out all the things that you're capable of and not.
I see.
Yeah, that would be.
That would be very helpful.
It would, and then we could kind of break it down from there, what we can offer, rather than whatever the hell that deal is with.
It's not about what you can offer, Sawyer. It's about what you can do to keep yourself safe.
Yeah.
Indeed.
That's how. Yeah, actually, I like that a lot better than what he was preaching.
Yeah, me too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Oh, what do you need, Astrid?
I'm trying to give me a moment to think, but I will say this, that what he's preaching makes sense in its own right. However, he is kind of person. There's a reason why he came here suddenly. When people like that came out of nowhere, you have to look where they came from because they don't want you to know. And they don't want you to know why they left. And they don't want you to know what they left behind. So whenever something radical pops across your field, you've got to question why it's there, where it's come from, and how will it affect you. And so just like Tom said, I'm not doing this for a boon. I'm doing this to give you some tools, I assume, from what I can figure out. Some tools to take care of yourself, to keep yourself alive, or whatever. I have to say it like that because you've got some semblance of it still.
Yeah.
And cherish it. It is a gift still. A gift that we don't have. But let me think of how I would get about this. I've got to. This is a unique situation. It's a thrilling situation, but we will get through this. Just give me a moment.
Yeah,
Would you like to do your ritual, your taste of blood?
I think that's the way to go.
Now you can do taste of blood, and then you can accompany that with the blood walk, so that you can get all the possible information all at once. It will take some time, and you will need some tools.
All right. Do not be alarmed. If you have questions, I will answer them. But I will need to do 2 different rituals. And please, relax. It'll take a little bit, but I will try to read through your vitae and see what information I can get.
So,
all right.
What we will need is a cup. So, Astrid, do you think that you carry a ritualistic cup with you, a goblet of some kind, or do you think you will search for one in this hotel room?
Since this is a ritual that she can do, I believe she would have all the components with her.
Right.
She has this nondescript little purse, that's not even a clutch purse. It's just over her shoulder kind of thing.
And whoever is nearest to Astrid can see inside of it several things, including what one would call an athame, and pieces of ribbon, of white ribbon, and these small little vials that look like they're filled with blood, just clanking around in there as she searches for the items she needs. So you pull out silver, bronze. What type of goblet is it?
It's actually a fairly minimalistic thing. I think it is silver.
Okay.
Just finely brushed, and that's about it. It has a slight small rim at the bottom, nothing elaborate. But if you look at the bottom, when she turns it around, the bottom has a rose etched into it.
Mm-hmm. Who would you like to try first?
She actually stands with the goblet in her hand and motions to them. Who would like to begin?
I can do it. We'll see what it does. Okay. We'll go over there.
Sure.
Are you afraid?
No,
Cautious.
that's
Fair.
a better term for it.
All right. Don't be afraid. It's not going to be terrible, I promise. I'll try not to make it terrible. Might look a little bit odd or scary, but it's fine. I got this. And so she begins.
Okay. So, would you like to have Sawyer open their own wrist, or would you like to open it for them?
She flicks a knife between her fingers. And she's like, I will need your vitae. Do you want... I can do a very small incision. Just... Ready?
Okay.
Yeah, she does it.
She cuts.
I'm assuming she... Yeah.
And out pours your blood. Sawyer, the cut hurts. It smarts. It's sort of like a paper cut. It's a very sharp knife. And as you watch the vitae pour into the cup, and you return their wrist back to them, and now it is your turn. You must also cut your wrist and pour it into the cup. Do you do so?
Yes.
All right. And as you do that, and return your wrist to yourself, you dip your finger in the cup, and you begin turning it, spinning the blood faster and faster. I need you to make an intelligence and blood sorcery roll, please.
All right. Well, that's one success.
You can spend willpower.
I will, yeah. So one more.
Sawyer's curse lives on.
I don't think she does this often. It's okay. Yeah, so it's 2 successes for now.
With 2 successes, you continue spinning the blood, and you eventually it begins to burn and smoke and evaporate away until all that's left is just a black crust of the 2 of your bloods combined. And you scoop it and you taste it. And the knowledge that comes to you through the blood, Astrid, is that Sawyer is of the 15th generation, which means that they were embraced by a thin blood. They were embraced by a thin blood named Frankie, who of course you know Frankie very well. Frankie is the man who embraced your former lover, Saul. You also know that Sawyer has a particular flaw to their blood. They have more things in there, but you can't quite grasp them with only 2 successes. But you know they have a particular flaw of their blood that is the curse of the clan Ventru, meaning they have particular tastes, and they can only feed on certain individuals. And that particular taste is that these individuals must be of wealth.
Mm-hmm.
And that is all you can ascertain, unfortunately, from this blood. It's almost as if you burned too much of it away, and you didn't have enough to determine it all. It's only done this ritual a few times. It's not one that's in your repertoire very often.
She takes a deep breath and then she's like, it wasn't as telling as I wished it could be, but I believe that might have been on me. At some point, we could try this again. But I have gleaned some things. However, while I'm in the zone and while I'm still attuned to it, let me try your friend first.
Oh, yes, that makes sense.
Yeah,
Theo.
no, it's not that bad, Theo. It'll be okay.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
It'll
And
be
Theo
okay.
stands very confidently and just kind of extends her wrist, and she's gonna study, like, really follow what you're doing, or try to.
So Astrid first cleans all of the tools that she's used thoroughly. She seems to have wipes for this, like everything's sorted, and then once everything is sterilized and clean, she starts again.
Mm-hmm.
She does a similar thing. She holds your wrist, and then when it starts to sting, she kind of like squeezes just above it so it stings less, or tries to, and takes just enough, just as much as she thinks she needs, and then she releases your hand. And she's like, you can sit down if you wish, and then continues to add her own blood.
Astrid, as you had a hold of Theo's wrist, you notice that Theo's arm is injured, and it has not healed.
Oh, yeah.
Whether that is something particular to the Thin Bloods, or whether she just simply does not know how to heal herself, you are not aware. Perhaps the blood will tell you.
All right.
So that's...
Make a mental note that she doesn't comment.
Mm-hmm. That's another intelligence and blood sorcery roll.
Okay, let's see.
Yeah, Sawyer's gonna lean over to Theo. You okay?
Oh, no, I'm fine. I'm just really interested in what's happening.
Yeah.
Intelligence.
Are you okay?
You know.
Yeah. Well, getting through it.
Yeah. I can go get bandages later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, sorry. 2 successes again, but I'm gonna expend another willpower this time again because
Make sure to check that if you've gotten 10s or not, because it doesn't tell you.
I have.
How many?
That's 2 10s.
That's a critical success.
Okay, so 2 critical successes. Do I need to roll willpower again, or do I feel like I got this?
Critical success is an excellent success. So I don't pay for the expense of Roll20. That doesn't tell you if you got a critical success.
Fair.
Understandable.
So now that you've practiced on Sawyer and unfortunately didn't get all the information from Sawyer, you feel like now you're like, all right, I'm in my groove, I got my rhythm, I remember how to do this. Oh yeah, here we go. And so it goes much better with Theo this time. And as the blood burns away, there's a lot more of it than there was before. You've stopped yourself from burning too much, and you scoop it and you taste it, and you taste that Theo tastes as close to a Tremere as they could while still being Duskborn. Theo is also of the 15th generation and also sired by Frankie. But Theo's blood is more potent than Sawyer's. Theo has the ability to not only blood bond other kindred, but Theo has the ability to create kindred. But Theo does not have the ability of walking during the day and does not have the ability to heal themselves as a vampire would. Theo suffers from the frailty of mortality. Should Theo become grievously injured, as a human would, Theo will likely perish.
She took a deep breath and then starts cleaning her equipment. Like she seems to be combining her thoughts, pulling things together. Okay, I think I've got something I can tell you both.
Okay.
So, yeah. Sawyer, well, both of you were sired by a Thin Blood. Frank in particular.
I knew it.
That's what he meant. Cool.
Yeah.
I'm glad Ruby beat him up.
Yeah.
You bet him up?
Our
friend had a vendetta with everything that happened, and so the Baron let them fight. Said something about mono. And then they just kind of went at it. He had to step in, but Frankie was pretty hurt when we left, and now I don't feel too bad about it.
Oh, I never felt bad about it.
Yeah, I don't think you should feel very bad about it. But that's just my take. He's still alive, though, right?
Very much.
Well,
very much
alive, you know.
Yeah.
He still walks.
Unalive?
Undead.
Undead. I mean, technically, we keep being told we're dead, but we still walk, so I don't understand the... Yeah, sorry.
Well, you're somewhere in between. And I suppose the rest, unless you're talking to someone, you know, that's very strict to the rules, which is usually Camarilla. Let's just say that whatever you guys make of each other's meanings is more important than the terms that you use. At least that's what I believe, but that's me. It's probably not everyone else.
Fair.
You do have some differences, though, which I find really interesting, because usually when we're sired by someone, when Arkin is sired by someone, we are usually of the same, or we are, I suppose, she struggles with the terminology a little bit. We are of the same family, I suppose you could say.
The full-blooded kindred, they all have the same type of curse, the same type of like weird sort of idiosyncrasies, but us Duskborn, we're all different from each other.
Yeah.
Clans.
Yes.
Yes. I wasn't sure if you were aware, but yeah, clans.
No, I just heard him say it.
Yeah, well, So what I can say is you, and she motions towards Sawyer, you feel like you've got, I suppose you could call it the curse of the venture, or you feel that you are leaning that way. And you've got, what I could tell is that you've got a specific type that you can feed off of. You cannot feed quite from anyone. So
that
We
makes
saw
sense.
a little. Yeah, we saw a little bit of that the last couple nights.
Sawyer looks very embarrassed.
This is like being on one of those shows where they ask anyone in the audience if their dead relative is talking to them, but this one might actually be true.
I'm not sure I make for a good host, but I'll try. Well, so what I understand is you can only feed on the wealthy. You can make of that what you will. I mean, it's not, you don't have to feel bad about it. I don't think.
The Venture don't feel bad about it.
Yeah.
Expensive taste. Look at you.
Yeah.
Right. You might try to pay attention to this as you go forward, because this might come in handy, absolutely, but also you, depending, I'm not entirely sure how Duskborn grow their power. They do grow power. She looks at Tom.
Sure we can. It's just not in the linear way that you guys do it. Nothing about us is.
That makes sense.
Yeah, especially with all the talk we did. Though I'm not sure how much of it was true about, well, I mean, we just watched magic happen, and we watched a little bit of alchemy at the beach.
I suppose what I did is also magical alchemy at this point.
Yeah, that was
very interesting.
Theo, you recall, now that you've seen Astrid do what she did, you recall that you tasted the blood of Morgan after she passed, and you were able to learn information from her blood, just like Astrid was.
It actually seems kind of familiar, and she looks kind of excited to talk about it, and then remembers why it happened and looks at Sawyer.
It's okay.
I was able to ascertain information about someone who is connected to a vampire by tasting their blood.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. This seemed interesting.
Speaking of, you do seem to carry an affinity to Tremere. So that would be why. There's other ways, I believe, to ascertain that, but usually when it comes to magic, or however you want to call it, we do usually call it magic, but alchemy, I suppose Frankie called it, whatever it is, you can have certain powers, and all of us have different powers, but this in particular one feels very crucial to the Tremere. It's something that I can do, that I've done right now. And however, you need to be careful, because from what I could tell a few more things about you. In particular, you can blood bond someone. If you let someone drink from you several times, they will become your thrall. And not only that, you can create other thin bloods. But be very careful, because your blood contains a very difficult flaw. And in particular, you cannot, the sun will hurt you. You cannot daywalk.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you cannot heal. Those injuries you have, they need to heal the old-fashioned way.
That's a
Well-
bad one. I've lost a lot of friends who had that problem.
If you are gravely injured, you will die. For real. Forever. It's not I'm not playing word games right now. So you
Well-
do need to be very mindful.
Good to know.
I'm sorry.
Okay. Grew up in a bubble. At least that didn't change. That stays consistent.
I'm only going to tell you this, Theo, just because I've lost a handful of friends with your particular flaw. There is only one way to work around it. And
What is
if
that?
you do it, you're never going to be the same. And you'll be hunted for the rest of your life because there are kindred out there who can tell that you've done it. It's
How
called-
can we keep Theo safe, though?
It's called diablerie.
Astrid just looks away.
Theo,
And
Tom doesn't notice.
She looks like she's kind of thinking about the word. What is that?
It means drinking one of us dry.
You take the soul of a vampire into yourself, and when other vampires do it, they get stronger. You know, maybe they learn a few new tricks, but when we do it, well, we aren't Thin Bloods anymore after that. We are whatever type of vampire we eat.
Well, given everything we've been told, I could see why that's a problem.
Yeah, if
And
you do
why-
it, there is no sect you'll be safe from, except for maybe the Sabbat. They might encourage it. I don't fucking know.
Fair.
I mean, given what the Baron said, he said other sects look down upon how we can change ourselves, and I think that's maybe what he meant.
Yeah. No, that makes sense.
It does sound like it, and it might be interesting to be like, okay, well then I'll go after him because he's a threat. Even if you somehow did manage to overpower him and drink him, he would live inside of you. In a manner of speaking.
That's uncomfortable.
That's very
Exactly. So
Ooh.
it isn't a boon it isn't a boost, I suppose, more so than it's not a boon. Boost more so than it is a curse. Be very careful.
Yeah, I had another friend who did it, and they were okay for a little while, but then eventually that soul came back, and then I lost my friend.
Oh, I'm sorry that happened.
Yeah. Well, thank you for telling me about that.
Don't tell Hunter I told you about it.
Aye. Secret's safe with me.
Okay.
I don't mean to be rude about your hygiene, but my God, why does it smell like a dead body in this hotel?
Our
We had an accident last night. A couple of people decided to pay us a surprise visit, and things got out of hand, and one of them died, got killed.
Yeah. She's somewhere here. I need to take care of that.
Tom looks at you, Astrid. Hunter did say that this was a possibility of happening. since they're so young. He told me to call Anthony if it did happen.
All right. Well,
And I need to figure out what to do about our boss. Because,
Oh yeah.
you mean Frankie
Yeah.
No.
no,
or the
Back.
Baron?
back home, my ex-wife apparently was a thrall
Mhm.
to some La Sombra.
Yes, that's what I figured out with the same
That's the right
magic.
that's the right name, right?
That's
Theo?
what came to mind. Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
That was the woman who died.
Do you,
And
do you have a name?
could I have a name? Great question.
It's like the storyteller to tell you the
Caitlin.
name?
Yeah.
Caitlin Longhorn.
Caitlin Longhorn.
I was so Longhorn.
I knew
Yeah,
I had it.
Caitlin Longhorn. She's my boss's boss.
And where are you from exactly?
Georgia.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, that's way outside of our jurisdiction. Astrid,
Right.
you'd never heard of a Caitlin Longhorn, have you?
Mm.
I don't
Right.
even know if there's any La Sombra here on the Grand Strand. I've never seen one.
There were, and there could be. They're not the shadow people for nothing.
That's true enough.
But Caitlin is not a name that I recall.
I'm gonna go call Anthony and tell him to come here. I need to take you to Hunter now, because that's what he told me to do. So.
Wow. Really appreciate that.
Yeah. Thank you.
I need you to know that I don't need any bonus for this, as we've spoken. But I also need you to know that if you see me, there's only so much I can do for you. Just so you know.
Of course.
It's
I mean,
not that
you've
I
already done a lot.
Yeah.
it's not that I do not want to do more, but sometimes there are limitations on me and what I can do.
Could
Is
I-
that something you could teach us, though?
I was about to ask if they
Mhm.
if we could, I don't know, if there's any possibility to learn more about this magic. Do you know anybody that could help with that, or could you?
Tom raises his hand. I do it.
Really?
What Frankie does. The
Okay.
alchemy.
Awesome.
I do it a little differently. Frankie cooks everything down into little vials and swallows them. I eat the stuff
He
myself.
told us to eat a battery.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Get a battery and some metal shavings and some whatever your favorite flower is. And
Yeah.
you'll float. That's if you can do the alchemy. If you can't, or if you think maybe you can't, you just have to take a sip of my blood. That should help you out.
Will you be taking this on? I look at him. Tom.
I mean, there aren't that many of us left, Astrid. You and Hunter and Galen and Anthony saved us from the blood room. It's the least I can do.
What I mean is, do not take on too much. Because at the end of the day, like you said, there weren't that many of you left.
I'd like to have some new friends. Maybe they won't die so quick.
Of course.
Stick
the
together. There is strength in, I won't say numbers, I will say friendship. Try to
Yeah.
kindle that as best as you can. As for what my powers are, I am not so sure. I would need to research how you use your powers and how is it different for me.
Mhm.
And if I find something, I will get back to you on that and see if I can teach you something useful. But for
Theo
now,
almost has a
I'm not so sure I can teach you as I am right now, however.
oh, that's fine. Theo seems to almost have like a sparkle in her eye. If there's anything that I need to look up or look into, I'll do it if I am when we find the time. Right, we're kind of busy.
I need to tell you though, our clan is very restrictive with what we teach others. Knowledge is very safeguarded. And be careful who you ask.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm starting to get that.
Yeah. That's interesting.
You can do your own research, I'm sure. Just take it one thing at a time and don't take unnecessary risks. But that's very generic advice. I don't think that's...
No, that's fair. That's fair.
I mean, we got a whole night to stay up to do some research. It'll be just like old times, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Speaking of, please don't leave the hotel. I'm going to call someone else to come and help you deal with the body. They're a professional.
Okay.
Miss Astrid, if you're ready, I'll go start the car.
One thing you should know, though, I think that Kananti and Frankie know the hotel.
This place exists.
I'm sure they do.
We didn't tell him, but yeah.
Fred mentioned it.
The person that I'm sending to you is ex-Sabat. If there's anyone who can tell you what it's like to be indoctrinated in there and then to leave, it would be Anthony.
Okay.
He's a bit rough around the corners. He has his reasons, but he has a good heart, you could say.
It's really buried deep, but I'm sure it's down there somewhere.
I know the type.
It'll be okay. Just
Yeah.
have faith, I suppose.
Yeah.
Really do appreciate it, Astrid. Thank you.
Yes, thank you
And,
so much.
Whenever you're ready to meet up, Tom,
Let's deal with the mistake, as you could put it.
Yeah.
Before we talk about any boons and favors.
Sure.
Okay. Yeah.
Tom heads down the stairs, and Astrid
She
follows behind him. They close the door.
Yep.
And now you two must wait. You can discuss things that you've learned tonight. Wonder about your friends, and wonder about what else Astrid might have learned from your blood that maybe she didn't tell you, or maybe she told you everything. There's no real way to know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But that is where we are going to end. Epilogue 2, Shadows of Blood, for this evening. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.